Mogul Motivation, educating and empowering entrepreneurs 1 week at a time, presented by True Stories Media. And I am your host, Antoine Twiz Taylor. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in yet again to another episode of Mogul Motivation. I am happy that you are back. Entrepreneurs, dream chasers, anybody with a goal, this podcast is for you. You see, we have it very, very hard. We have a very rough, rugged journey. I talk about this every week. That's the purpose of Mogul Motivation, to provide motivation to the have-not entrepreneurs, people who come from the bottom, people who are always written off, people who have goals and dreams that everyone else can't seem to understand, and they disregard you. Whether that goal or dream may be a career or, starting a business, it doesn't matter. This applies to you. And the reality of it all, ladies and gentlemen, is we deal with a lot of fire around us every single day. We deal with chaos. Basically, we walk through hell. We voluntarily walk through hell to get to the promised land. And today I want to talk about how to be inspired by that fire. You see, from Fortune 500 companies all the way down to small businesses, to startups, to just a single entrepreneur with a goal in mind, like you, like me, we all fuck up from time to time. Every single day, something is going to go wrong. Not everything is going to go right. Every product you sell isn't going to be in the best shape. Every time you ship off a product to someone, something might happen. It might get lost. Every time you provide a service for someone, something may happen. Hiccups happen. And when those hiccups happen, your customers and your clients, the first thing they do is they begin to get upset. They begin to get mad, and they point fingers, and they demand some type of compensation. That's the first thing that happens when these hiccups occur. And as a business owner, you're supposed to accommodate them. Yes, you're supposed to do whatever you can to diffuse the situation. However, never mistake the fact that good customer service means that the customer is always right. Because sometimes you may be dealing with poisonous clients and poisonous customers. And in these situations, you have to stand firm in your terms and conditions and your policies. If you have policies in store. If you don't have those in store right now, I strongly suggest that you start to rework all of your contracts, your terms and conditions, your return policies, everything, so that you can have it in writing and in concrete. So whenever you deal with a customer or client and these situations happen, you can always point to the black and white. You can always refer to the contract or your terms and conditions or the receipts or whatever it is that you do when you make a sale. The reality is, in these situations, you have to take all of these hiccups as inspiration. You can't let all of these things slow you down. You can't let this get you down, because it will happen. I remember in 2014, it was my fault because I should never have went with this client in the first place, because the red flags was there. The red flags were there. But I decided to service her wedding anyway as a professional videographer and photographer. She thought she was getting more in her package than what she was already getting, despite the fact I had everything detailed. But since I'm a young man and she was older than me, she felt she can get over on me. Ultimately, she sued me because she really tried to squeeze me for everything that she could. And when she realized that I was professional and I would not allow it to happen, she couldn't handle it. She sued me. We went to court. The judge settled the matter. But nevertheless, it left a bad taste in my mouth. I told myself from that point on, I would never be in this situation. So from that point on, I became very selective when it came to clients that I service, and I reworked my contract. This was 2014. It's currently 2017. My contract has been revised 4 or 5 times since then, because every time something happens, I always revise it to cover every single loophole. My point is, take these hiccups, take these moments of despair and, embarrassment as fire to inspire you to go to the next level. Do not allow these things to keep you down and to keep you in that bottomless, dark pit. No, rise above that. You are an entrepreneur. You're a successful entrepreneur. You're a successful business owner, and you're a successful person striving to do better in your career. Do not let these things keep you down. So that's one thing I want to highlight. Another thing I want to highlight is the people around you. The most envious people that you will ever meet are those closest to you. Family, friends, fraternities, sororities, sisters, it doesn't matter. People around you will always have hidden agendas. Sometimes people will see your ambition, your drive, your passion, and it will anger them. It will anger them because they wish they had that same passion. They wish they had those same ambitions and drive as you do. So their envy will start to spill out. And you have to be very careful, ladies and gentlemen, because what they're going to do is they're going to try their best to keep you down. You see, when you're hustling for a goal as opposed to hustling for money, because we all want to be rich, yes, but as I said, when you hustle for a goal with a purpose in mind, it's always more valuable. So when you're doing this and when you're going on your entrepreneurship journey, the people around you, they're going to try everything they can to slow you down. But they're not going to be direct with it. They're going to be very indirect with it. They're always going to try to tell you things in code to slow you down. They're always going to think that you should go another route instead of the route that you're on. They're always going to try to demean you and discourage you with certain words that might be disguised as encouragement, but is really there to stop you in your tracks because they don't want to see you succeed. You see, the reality is the reason why so many people who support you in most cases are people you've never met or people who don't really know you that well, because from the distance, they see the true self. They see the true image, which is you are a black man or a black woman striving for success in a world surrounded by despair and poverty. They see that truth. So therefore, they support you because they want to see you elevate. However, the people closest to you, they see that same picture, yes. But what they also see is they see the fact that they came from the same background as you. They came from the same place as you. They came from the same neighborhood as you, the same circumstances as you. And they see you rising as they continue to stay at the bottom or as they continue to go stagnant and steady on a plateau. They don't like that. That angers them. So therefore, they do everything they can to bring you back down to their level. And if the discouragement doesn't work, if the disguised encouragement doesn't work, that's when they begin to hate. And I hate the word haters. I really do. I rarely use it. I rarely use that word. I prefer the term non-believers. They begin to not believe in you. So therefore, they start to spew negativity towards your way. But when you start to realize these things, when you see who these people are, whether it be family, friends, fraternity brothers, sorority sisters, or anybody close to you in your circle, when you begin to see these traits, that's when you have to let that fire, that chaos, you have to turn it into inspiration and you have to continue to go. You have to continue to go forward, stay on your track. It's no shame in cutting people off. As I said in a couple episodes before, blocking out the bullshit. It's no shame in cutting people off no matter how long you have known them, because longevity in a relationship or a friendship does not matter. What matters is, are you bringing value and are you benefiting my life? Are you supporting me right now in this present moment? Are you being genuine right now? If my business was to take a hit, would you be there with me to pick me back up? Will you continue to encourage me when my sales are down? Will you continue to do everything you can to help me promote my business and get to the top and rise above all of these obstacles that's stopping me? If the answer to any of those questions is no, then that person does not deserve to be in your life. I don't care who they are. You have to be very careful of these people, ladies and gentlemen. You have to be inspired by the fire around you to continue to go forward and succeed as an entrepreneur in this world in 2017, no matter what, because you are a mogul in motion. You see, it's very easy to be a loser. It's very easy to do nothing. It's very easy to live a mundane life. It takes no work. It takes no effort to do that. It takes no effort to wake up every single day, have nothing to do except drink and smoke and do the same thing you have been doing for the past 10 years. That's very easy. And a lot of people die that way. But we're not going to die that way. We're going to die in better circumstances than we were when we were born. You see, majority of the people who listen to this podcast, including myself, what we're going to be considered new money. New money are people who didn't come from money, who weren't born into privileged or wealthy families, who built everything that they have from the ground up. That's what we're going to be. We're going to be new money creating an old money legacy, because God willing, our kids will be owed money. Our kids will be born into our success. So they won't have the same struggles we had growing up. And it's very important that we instill in them the same values that we've learned on our journeys, and that we keep them humble, and we keep them focused and inspired by fire, and never get big-headed, so that they don't become the people that we cut off. That's very important, ladies and gentlemen, and that's necessary. We have to stay inspired by fire, because we're on this journey. We're going forward for a reason and for a purpose, because we have a vision. Even if you're not an entrepreneur, even if you're not a small business owner, if you're just someone who wants to aspire in their career and get to the top, the same rules and principles apply to you. You have to cut off the dead weight around you and be inspired by the fire. I know how hard it is for Black Americans in corporate America. I know how hard it is to rise among those ranks. But if that's your goal, to get to the top of your industry, the top of your company, then you have to make it happen. And you cannot let others around you stop you from accomplishing that goal. So that's my message this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Very straight to the point. We have to be inspired by fire. Do not let poisonous customers and clients bring you down when things go wrong in your business. Do not let poisonous friends and family and people around you bring you down. Do not let their negative energy halt your status and your progress. Do not let anything that they do or say to you discourage you or make you question what you're doing, because what you're doing is right. What you're doing is glorious. What you're doing is necessary. And what you're doing will work out in due time. It's just going to take a little while longer. So let's continue to work. Let's continue to imagine reality, and let's continue to press forward and turn all of that fire, all of that chaos around us into inspiration and more fuel to get to the top. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you next week.